Cut this first part out. I was just clearing my throat.
Oh yeah, no, none of that's going in. Don't worry about it.
No. Cut it out.
You know what I do sometimes.
Yeah. I'll remind you.
That's where you're like, no. Seriously, cut it out.
Yeah, please. I try to do that all off camera.
I'm constantly clearing my throat. It happens all the time because I have horrible acid reflux. Yeah. Eat better, people.
No, you're not talking to people because nobody's going to see this part.
Sorry.
Mike.
You're right. You're right.
All right.
Welcome to Play Paper and Popcorn. I am your host, Michael, and today we have a special guest,
Eric.
Welcome,
it's
Eric.
Me. I'm new. I've never been on here before.
No, we've never met. We've never ever met in our entire lives.
Right.
Ever. Today, we're going to talk about different opinions, and this is quite interesting because it's funny to me how people can watch the same movie and feel differently about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add that. Dun dun dun.
You just did right there. It was beautiful.
Perfect.
Came out of your mouth hole. It was great. Person I've never met before.
Person, yeah. So, what brought this on was Eric's. Well, I'll let Eric tell you how he feels about what we're going to talk about today.
I think Onward is a trash movie. Onward. The Pixar movie Onward is awful. It's garbage. It should be stricken from the record. It's a bad movie.
And that's crazy.
And I hate it. I don't like it.
And I think you're insane for thinking it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, Eric. First of all, I'm gonna my opinion, great movie. I personally loved the message that it gave. And but I don't think it's the movie you don't like. Where did you go? Where did it lose you, Eric? Where did it lose you?
Pretty much as soon as I found out what the premise was.
The beginning credits.
Well, because like the first part, I remember seeing the ad. The first ad was like, it left it open to such pot, like it's like, oh, we're going on an event. Look, it's funny because the unicorns are eating out of the trash. Like, ha ha ha.
It was hilarious. That was
it's great. And then instead of going in any direction they could have gone, they decided to make it about being really sad that their dad is dead the whole time.
Okay, hold on. Before Eric scares you off from watching the rest of this video,
you're gonna have to put a spoiler.
Please like and subscribe to this video before you go, and comment down below what you think. We're also going to talk about another movie that we have different opinions on in the same kind of universe. So stick around for that. That'll be in like 10 or 15 minutes. But hang out. Come hang out with us. Comment down below what you think about the movie.
Yeah, this is your spoiler warning. When we're about to talk about a new movie, we're going to talk about this movie now, and then you have a chance to leave. Okay, there you go.
But don't leave, because you've probably seen it. It's fine.
Yeah, you've probably seen it. But yeah, they pretty much lost me right off the premise. It was like, oh, our dad's dead. I'm like, oh, that's too bad. And then they're like, we're going to bring him back.
Happens in all of them.
Like, yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, they're going to bring him back. Isn't that nice? And then they messed it up. And it just became a really depressing movie for the rest of the movie.
See, but it depends on where you look, right? It depends on exactly where you're looking. Do you look at the fact that, oh, that boy didn't get his father back, right?
Two boys.
Yes. So sorry, the two boys. The other one had him for 5 minutes, which I'll argue wasn't enough. But do you look at the fact that for the rest of his life, he has learned? Because if he had 24 hours with his dad, he may not have learned that for the rest of his life, he had that strong father figure in his brother the whole time, which was the point of it. That just because kids, if you lost a father, kids aren't watching this. If you've lost a father in your life, there are other figures in your life that can teach you those fatherly things. Look up to those men and understand that he's not coming back, even if he's half legs.
Yeah.
That's the point, right?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we should have started with, so Onward is a movie where two kids, their dad dies, And then on the one kid's birthday, they get like a rock that they can bring him back for 24 hours. And then the one kid fails miserably and only brings him back his lower
It was his
half.
first magic trick. Have you tried a magic trick? Like, I can't even like hide a card properly. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, so when I can't do a card trick.
Yeah, well, but it's a movie, so maybe he could be better at it. But it was like they brought back his bottom half, and the part that I hate, and then they're trying to bring his whole
and
the rest of him there. No, it's depressing because the bottom half knew what was going on,
which is weird and makes no sense.
Yeah,
he can feel the rhythm in the ground, I guess.
Yeah, like, and he was like interacting with his kids, and it was just super depressing. It was like they just wanted their dad to come back, and instead they got half a dad. And like my problem is that Mike said, you know, the message is, well, he had his brother the whole time, he didn't need his dad, which is great message.
Yes.
However, they didn't need to bring the dad back for 5 minutes. The one kid doesn't even get to see him. Like, they could have had that whole message, and then at the end gone, oh, look, we found a rock that does it for longer. Like, oh, now we get a whole week with them.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, they could have still
had
that. Well, no, but they could have had the message of like, your brother is your you know, parental figure replacing your dad, and then had it work out at the end. Like, or even like just in the credits, like at the end of the credits, you see like the rock start to shake, and then the dad starts to appear, and then they just cut off. Like, they don't even show it in the movie. They have that whole end bit where they're like, I love you, you love me, isn't this great? Our dad's dead.
So you're talking Monsters Inc. here, right? So at the end of Monsters Inc.
Yes, I want it to be Monsters Inc.
Kitty.
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly.
And
perfect.
Like,
that's a
oh.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you still get all that emotional.
You cried. I didn't
like,
cry.
Because you still get all that emotion of like, she was still gone for a while, and they thought that the kid was gone forever, but then it turns out that they were wrong.
Now,
which is
so okay. Had Monsters Inc. not added that, how would I have felt? Miserable.
Yeah.
Because there was no lesson to be learned in that movie. There was none lessons. None of them.
Lessons. Well, they did learn that they could
comment down below if you think there was a message inside of Monsters Inc. Because there wasn't.
The message is that laughter is a better power supply than screaming. Than
fear. Joy is a stronger emotion. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I would still say that Onward needed him to, it didn't need him to die, but I think it just what would having him for 24 hours do at this point? I mean, his whole thing of I want my dad back was because he was sad that he didn't get to learn these things from his father. He had all these things where he's like, man, I just want my dad to teach me these things. So the whole point of bringing him back would be a moot point, because he realized, hey, I learned that stuff already with my big brother that I was embarrassed to be around. And that's, you know, whatever. I realized, man, this guy is fantastic. And you could have had the same message. Yes, I know where you're going. You still could have had that message and still brought him back for 24 hours. But for what? What?
Because of the way that it worked during the actual movie, I just had tears in my eyes the whole time. And then no recovery from that, because they never saw their dad again. You know what I mean? Like, it was like the one kid got 5 minutes, the other kid got nothing.
I think it was like more like 1 minute, but yeah.
Yeah, like 1 minute. And like the whole time, like the dad's trying to interact as just legs. And I'm like, this is horrific.
It was hilarious.
This is well, no, but it's supposed to be funny, but it's just sad.
It was.
It's just sad because they're like constantly giving you a timeline of like, this is how much time we have left, and it's ticking down, and the dad's trying to but he can't actually see his kids. He never actually sees the other kid.
No,
like he just sees one of his kids, and then like, and where does he go? What happened? Is he gone forever? Did he die and they have like troll heaven or whatever, or is he just gone now because they use the meta? You know, it's just there's a whole bunch of crap that they could have at the end of the movie. They could have had that touching moment. And then they find another rock and it works. Like if they get it right at the last second. or even like they find a new rock, or they go back to their city and they're you know, they're like, oh man, we didn't get to see dad, and then some other guy comes out and like, oh well, because we're further along in the timeline, that's why we all have cars, and although unicorns are eating out of the garbage, we're not all knights. We just make these now and they last full time. So here's one that just brings your dad back.
See, and okay, so and I understand what you're saying, and I believe most stories don't have to end happy in the way we want them to. It was still a happy ending because he learned what he felt he needed to learn, and I feel like that was a happy ending because of that. So we're looking at it at two different levels. You're looking at it father, no father ever, never a father. Exactly. And I'm looking at it as the adventure and the growth of that boy and the bond of the brothers was so strong that he realized he didn't need what he thought he needed. He had that in front of him. So we looked at it. I argue you were upside down watching the movie, because I'm right.
They literally built it on the premise that they were trying to get their dad back the whole time, and then like 10 minutes from the end, they go, "It's okay, I'll just never meet my dad." See, and it's like,
and what would have been cool, I think, I don't want it to be like, and here's your dad at the very end of the movie. But what could have been unique and interesting is if when the brother bought that van for his brother, when he bought the van for his brother at the very end of the movie. Did you watch that part?
I don't know. I might have.
I know you spaced out at the end of it.
Yeah, I was like, this movie sucks. Yeah, I was like, this is stupid.
So it showed the world at the very end of the movie. It showed the world magical again, because the whole premise of the movie was magic disappeared, right?
Right.
And then these boys brought magic back to their town. They made people realize through their adventure, magic still exists and we need it, right? So at the very end of the movie,
so that we can all be sad about our dead dads. Then we can only get half of them for 24 hours.
So at the end of the movie, the younger brother bought the older brother a new van that matched the one that got destroyed.
Right, because it blew up or something.
What would have been cool is if and he said, now go open the door. And he opens the door and there's a gem on the seat. And that's it. You don't know at that point if they used it, because they might feel emotionally inside, you know what? We don't need that 24 hours. We have this. We don't need that. We don't need that more sadness, because bringing the father back is going to create more sadness. It's going to be like, hey, I saw him for 24 hours. That wasn't long enough. Now I'm sad. And I think that's why I like the ending that it gave, because you bring him back for 24 hours and he goes, oh, that was not enough. Not enough, man. Now I'm just sad because I met him. He's really cool. And now I'm just super sad again. I grew and then I just crumbled myself. I think it would have made more sense, less sense to do it your way.
Right. Personally. Well, they could have rolled the van up to them, and he's like, "Take a look inside." And he opens it, and it's the top half of his dad in a wagon. And it's like, you get 24 hours with the top half now.
And that would have at least been funny. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been funny, and I would have been like, "Ha ha ha!" 24 hours. It's still sad. But
now, and I still think I still think 24 hours would have been bad for them emotionally.
But they still had him for 24 hours. Just the bottom half. That's worse than nothing.
I guess so. All right. Yeah. All right. I still don't agree with you, but I see your point for sure, and I appreciate it. But
I don't see your point. It's a trash movie.
Open-mindedness. So let's get to the second movie.
What's the second movie? Are we talking about Up? Because I hate that one too.
No, we're not talking about Up. No.
Same reason though, because it's sad the whole time.
We're talking about Soul.
Right.
And how I think the ending of that one was wrong.
Right.
So we're on the reverse side.
You want me to cry.
That's right. Yeah. I want people to feel emotion.
We're going to talk about Soul.
But comment down below if you liked either one of these movies.
Yes. So yes. Soul. Yes, I think you want me to be sad. Right.
Soul was an amazing movie.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Really good movie, really good message. I think they ruined it at the end because he took more time. So Soul is a movie where a gentleman dies. He thinks his life goal is to play music famously, right? And then he tragically dies and turns into a soul, but doesn't want to ride the stairway to heaven as it seems. He jumps out, goes to a little soul land of pre-souls, and finds one that doesn't ever want to go to Earth.
Yeah, because it's the great before instead of the great beyond is where he ends up.
That's right. So he then traverses with this soul into
Who's been
Earth,
around for hundreds of years,
hundreds of
thousands
years.
of years.
Didn't want to leave. Just when I see what Earth is, that's garbage.
Yeah. They made Onward there, or yeah, they made Onward there. I don't want to go there. Full of depressing movies.
that's where they made that damn Onward movie. I'm not. There's no way
they
I'm
made
watching.
That one about the dinosaur
movie.
Nobody saw. Like nobody wants that.
Oh, but at the end of the movie, he realizes that that wasn't his life goal. That his life goal was something else, and he basically accomplished it by helping that by helping the soul. He rides the stairway, and they say, "Hey, do you want to go back?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do." And I think that was the wrong choice. I think you should have rode that thing all the way. Because you know what? Once you find your goal in life and you've done it, there's no more reason to be here.
Yeah.
There's no more real reason. You're never going to accomplish that again. You're never going to be that level of joyful than that moment. When you complete your life goal, I'm not saying it should end, but if it's already kind of there, don't go, well, I have so much more to live for. You don't. You passed your one goal, you're done.
Well, I don't remember them saying that it was his one goal. I just remember him going, I think I did a good job with this soul. I guess I could go to the beyond now. Did he at any point say this is my one goal?
No, well, he thought his main goal in life was to play music, and then he realized that that wasn't his goal in life. Not that this was his one goal, but I probably should have watched this movie before we did this.
well, and he realized that he was also a teacher. He was a music teacher who was trying to get real gigs as a musician. I think he saw that as like he's a mentor kind of person.
Yeah. Oh, and now the goal he did for he made that soul that had been around a long time appreciate it's the small things in life. It's the small parts of Earth that we can really enjoy. There's a lot of big bads. There's a lot of big goods, but really it's that in between. It's that, that coffee in the morning. It's that, the little love you get from your children. It's the little things in life. It's sitting on a bench and just watching birds fly by and do whatever birds do.
It may be a dumpster fire, but it's a dumpster fire that is filled with confetti.
Gorgeous confetti. It's great.
Little tiny bits of confetti.
Life is really great, and that's what he kind of learned from it, and by teaching that little the little soul how to do that. So at that point, I feel like he should have went, you know what? I'm good. I really wanted to go back to Earth so I could play music, but now, I don't want to play music. I helped that little soul, and I think they could have ended it. Given the choice, I would have taken go back to Earth too, of course, right? But I don't think the choice should have been there. They should have been like, hey, so yeah, you did a really good thing. That's awesome. He goes, yeah, and I feel pretty good about it too. I think I understand what it was about now. And he rides it all the way to the great beyond, and he's good to go.
And then what happens at the end of the movie? Does he just hit that big white bug zapper and go poof, and then that's the end of the movie, or do they like go down to Earth and show this kid like playing the piano or something?
Yeah. Goes down to Earth and shows a kid playing the piano. I'll take that one. He goes poof, and then so you can do it visually too.
It's like 10 years later.
Goes, poof, and the whole screen turns white, and then it fades back, and it kind of zooms in a little kid, and she's playing piano now, and she's doing all the life stuff. And you go, oh, that was really good. They gave him the choice. They sent him back to Earth, and he's just going to live, maybe he'll grow and he'll go, you know what? Now I appreciate life more. So I'm going to live life to the fullest. You don't.
well, and then
you don't.
They could put sad music at the end while the kid's doing all those things that he should have been doing, but now he's dead and we can all be sad like when we watch Onward.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Sometimes at the end of the movies, they need you to leave it where you're like, oh, that's really sad. And then they just turn it off and you go, oh.
Yeah. I like the ending of it. I thought it was good because it was like he accepted that his life was over and he was okay with it. And they're like, come on, you can go do it. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then he goes and has a nice life because he was kind of a miserable human being.
Was he?
Like he was not happy.
No.
Teaching other children how to play music, teaching all the kids, because it wasn't him being a jazz star.
Yeah, he wasn't famous enough for what.
Yeah, so he was miserable with his life. So then he went back and had a positive life, which is nice.
Well, they didn't show that. Maybe he went
Well,
back.
yeah, maybe he was a
miserable.
serial killer or something. I don't know.
You don't know. You have no idea. The movie ended.
Yeah.
At that point, you can make up whatever you want, and it's real. Maybe it's exactly what happened. Maybe.
Right.
So I think that they ended the movie badly. I think it would have been a good close if he went, you know what? I'm good. I understand now. And I helped that one. I'm good. And then you end with the child playing piano and she's happy and good now.
Yeah. But, and so let's talk about Up for a second.
Okay.
Let's talk about Up, because I have the same problem that I have with Onward. Well, the ending's a little better, I guess. But I watched Up and the wife dies, and then the rest of the movie is sad. The rest of the movie, up until that point, like as soon as the wife dies, it colors the entire rest of the movie with sadness, because he wanted to do all that stuff with her, and he spent years being miserable by himself because his wife died younger, like when they were a little bit younger, and he did all that stuff. And like even when he reached his goal, like I think he got the house up on the waterfall that they wanted to visit, his wife's still dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that he's a happier person now.
Yeah.
But his wife's still dead.
But
so there's still that problem. It's like with the dad thing. It's like, oh, isn't it in Onward where it's like, oh, isn't it nice that he realized that his brother is his father figure, but his dad's still dead.
Yeah. You in life you also can't stop that. In life you also can't. But
it's an imaginary movie.
So what you should do is when somebody
make
dies,
all the movies happy.
Move on and find something that makes you happy about it. I think that's the whole point of that. It's like sometimes in life, yeah, people die. Guess what you can't do? Bring them back. You can't do it. But
you can in a magic movie.
Yes, but they're not magic. And these ones, they want to hit home with some people, right? And it depends on the lens that you look at things in. So you cling to the emotional. And I wonder what that means psychologically between the two of us, because immediately the
you're
wife,
a monster and
the wife dies. Hold on. So the wife dies, and then the little kid rings on the doorbell, and I immediately just didn't care about the wife anymore. I want to see where this is going to go.
Well, and I can't do that.
And you hold on to that emotion. You're like, yeah, but the little chubby kid is not ringing on the door, but I'm still sad. She's still dead, and I don't.
Yeah, I wonder if it comes down to the fact that with like you don't read. You've read a couple books, but in books it has all their inner monologue. So during that whole part, I'm like you hear that his wife died, and he's sad, and then the little boy comes to the door, and I'm just thinking about what he's thinking about. Like it's not like, oh, now this is done, now we're moving on to this. I'm like, oh, I wonder how he feels. Like I'm gonna think about what he's thinking inside of his head.
You see, and
then I just get stuck on that.
So for the comments, leave a comment down below if you think that that's accurate, because that's really interesting. A really interesting way to think about it is I don't take in their inner monologue,
I guess.
I don't take in their inner monologue as a thought. I don't think of what they're thinking because they're cartoon characters and they actually don't think. So that's but
they do think as characters.
As characters, they were not written to think past they're dead. It's fine. But you hold on to their emotions. So maybe that's a book thing. So write down below if you're a book reader and you take these movies like more like Eric does. Write down below and let us know if that maybe that's the best ending we could have right there. Is we just maybe figured out why we're so different in these movies, because
Mike doesn't care about people's emotions,
and I think they're cartoons and they don't have them.
Yeah, you surface level it. You're like, oh, this is what they're doing now.
Yeah, now they're making balloons. Where's this gonna go? I'm really excited.
Yeah, even though I'm like, oh man, I bet he's really sad.
They kind of buried the lead on that one because the cover of it was the house with balloons on top, so they really buried the lead on what they were gonna do with those balloons. But
yeah,
that's what I'm more disappointed about. Is like, can you just make the trailer or the image on the the just not that, so I can?
It's just a grumpy man. It's just a guy sitting there.
We're all gonna watch that movie.
Yeah, they could have done it. See, this is a whole other discussion that we should have, but I just want to comment on this one. A perfect trailer for Up would be, you see him grumpily sitting there on his chair, and then you see like there's a window behind him, and there's like the sky with the clouds, and then he walks out onto his porch, and it shows just the house in the air,
and he falls off.
with
He forgets.
No.
He just woke up. He just walks off. Go get to the newspaper.
Whoops.
End of movie. Like it's over in 20 minutes.
Trips out
Perfect.
his
You saved
skin.
me. You saved Eric like an hour and a half of heartache. You just ended it quick.
Yeah, no, but like and all you see is the little rope, like the lines that go up to the balloons, and you never show the balloons. It's never on a poster, and every poster has like the house floating in the sky, and it doesn't explain why they're floating. You know,
It could be a
We'll have
metaphor.
a metaphor for life, man.
Yeah, sometimes your house
Someday,
just floats.
someday your wife will die, and you'll be sad, and then you'll meet a fat Asian kid.
That's the most
And a
effective
talking
metaphor for
dog.
these movies. Sometimes people die, and you're gonna be sad about it.
And sometimes all you'll have left is the bottom half of their body.
So comment down below and let us know what you think about all this. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you can. We really appreciate it, and it helps us tremendously if you can comment down below, like and subscribe. That'd be great. But if not, we appreciate you being here and watching anyways. Thanks for watching.
We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Better a silly girl with a flower than a silly boy with a horse and a stick.
There you go.